Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis are the two most common types of inflammatory bowel disease, or IBD, and they share many symptoms. In Crohn's disease, inflammation extends through the entire thickness of the intestine, whereas in ulcerative colitis, the inflammation is mainly centered in the mucosa, that is, along the surface of the inner colon, and the severity and frequency of attacks can vary widely. In both cases, there's chronic or recurring inflammation in the digestive tract, resulting from a misguided immune response. The body's immune system is attacking its own gastrointestinal system as though it were a pathogen. Both conditions are associated with inflammation and damage to widespread areas of the body, including the central nervous system and nerves. Diagnosis of these conditions may include blood and stool tests, imaging tests, and/or a colonoscopy. Sometimes long periods of remission occur for no known reason, but there is no conventional cure. However, conventional medicine often does not have the cure for many things, even though cures do exist. And that's the same thing with Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation identified these as symptoms of inflammation in the digestive tract, which may appear with Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. Diarrhea, rectal bleeding, an urgent need to move the bowels, abdominal cramps and pain, sensation of incomplete evacuation, fever, constipation, which can lead to bowel obstruction, loss of appetite, weight loss, fatigue, night sweats, and loss of normal menstrual cycle. So there are 5 important tools that I would encourage everyone suffering with Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, or actually anyone suffering from any kind of colon or digestive issue to learn more about. And I will add a link to these tools at my blog for this lesson at aruka.com/blog/colitis. So the first tool or resource is naturopath Jordan Rubin's book, Restoring Your Digestive Health, a proven plan to conquer Crohn's, colitis, and digestive diseases. Now, in this book, he outlines a very thorough plan to conquer digestive health problems from almost every possible angle. Now, our family tries to follow Jordan Rubin's diet as outlined in a different book that he authored called The Maker's Diet. I believe it's the most balanced and natural way to eat as humans. But in this specific book that I'm recommending, it focuses more on the Crohn's and colitis and digestive disorders, and it has a much more detailed plan. Okay, so long before Jordan Rubin became one of America's most respected natural health experts, Crohn's disease nearly ended his life. A once healthy teenager, Jordan suffered the debilitating effects of the painful and potentially fatal wasting intestinal illness. In desperation, he consulted over 70 medical experts in 7 countries and tried hundreds of nutritional supplements with no improvement. And finally, Jordan researched and developed a revolutionary wellness program based on a more health-promoting diet, including the use of fermented foods, bone broths, and soil-based organisms, or SBOs, which are an often overlooked but critical component of our ancestors' primitive diet. Within months, Jordan's health improved, and years later, he remains free of disease or medications. Now, he calls his regimen the Guts and Glory program, but if you suffer from Crohn's or any of a host of other digestive or systemic disorders, I believe you will be blessed by this resource. This program helps heal Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, gluten or lactose intolerance, candida yeast infections, food allergies, recurring or persistent nausea, chronic constipation, urinary tract infections, and many more serious ailments. And all of these are really part or can be part of the whole Crohn's and ulcerative colitis experience. And you'll also learn why fermented foods and HSOs are vital to good health and why they're missing from today's diets, how a primitive lifestyle offers very modern health benefits, and how to find and prepare delicious meals the primitive way, and also what dietary supplements can help and which to avoid. It's a very good, very comprehensive resource. Now, the second tool or the second resource I would recommend is from my teacher, Master Herbalist Richard Schulze's book called There Are No Incurable Diseases, coupled with his Natural Healing Crusade video series. Now, the whole program is excellent for healing of almost any kind of illness. However, especially important for Crohn's and colitis sufferers are his highlights, are where he highlights his colon cleansing program and his emphasis also on juicing. Now, in herbalism, we learn that death and disease begin in the colon. There's a lady named Jennifer S. Westminster from California who wrote to Richard Schulze saying, she said this, "I was admitted to the hospital for rectal bleeding. As it turned out, I was diagnosed with ischemic colitis. The doctors recommended removing my sigmoid colon and said that if I didn't get that surgery, I would be dead in 3 weeks to a year. Being only 30 years old at that time, I thought there had to be another way. After a year of seeking out and trying many different types of alternative medicines, I was introduced to your products, and now fast forward to now, 5 years later, I've been using your intestinal #1 and your herbal mucil ever since to stay regular." So it saved her life, spared her from really a terrible surgery, which should absolutely be avoided unless absolutely necessary. But the problem is, most medical doctors don't know these alternatives. And so the first two, are books. They're very important, very comprehensive books and some videos. And then now let's talk about the other 3 tools. So the third tool that I recommend is basically 2 important supplements. One of them is recommended in Jordan Rubin's book. It's probiotics. And the other one is recommended by a neurosurgeon, Dr. Russell Blaylock, who also ran a nutritional healing clinic. And so first let's talk about probiotics, okay? So probiotics, and this is straight from Jordan Rubin's book. Probiotics are the friendly bacteria that live in your intestinal tract. Probiotics keep the harmful bacteria and viruses in check. They can potentially alleviate conditions such as Crohn's disease and lactose intolerance. They can be found in yogurt, kefir, properly prepared sauerkraut, and other fermented foods. Probiotic supplements, acidophilus, bifidobacteria, and HSOs, to name a few, are friendly bacteria strains that have been cultured, isolated, and placed into powders, pills, or refrigerated dairy products. Now, although it's best to get probiotics from food, most of the foods that should have probiotics that you would buy at the store are really bad. They are highly processed, which is bad for bowel disorders, or they have a lot of sugar and other added chemicals, which can also be very bad for Crohn's and colitis. So it's hard to find. They do exist. You can find some good probiotic-rich foods at, for example, Sprouts or Whole Foods if you have one near you. But the best and the most cost-effective is to make them yourself. But also there's some good, for those who don't know yet, how to make their own. The next best thing would be to get a high quality probiotic supplement. And Jordan Rubin himself started a company called Garden of Life, which offers a high potency probiotic supplement. And there are some other brands out there too. just one of the key things to look for in a good probiotic supplement is high potency, and also it should be from a trusted source. So I do like the ones from Sprouts or Whole Foods or Dr. Mercola's online store, so long as they are high potency. And our family likes to take a variety of probiotics and not just stick to one and stick to the same combination of strains. A variety of probiotics is also important. Now, the second important supplement that I would recommend looking into is curcumin. And curcumin, this is recommended by Dr. Russell Blaylock, the neurosurgeon, and also he ran a nutritional healing clinic. And so curcumin, this powerful anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and antimicrobial substance is extracted from turmeric, the curry spice. Research shows that it cools dendritic cells, which are one of the central activators of inflammation in irritable bowel disorders. Now, curcumin also reduces inflammatory chemicals released by immune cells, which are major players in IBDs. And one of the worst effects of ulcerative colitis is recurrent bouts of severe abdominal pain and bloody diarrhea. In one study of 89 patients with ulcerative colitis, 45 were given curcumin and 44 patients were given a placebo. They found that the patients receiving curcumin had 3 times fewer recurrences of diarrhea than those getting the placebo. That's very powerful. After 1 year, the episodes were much less intense among curcumin users, and colonoscopies showed that their colons looked much healthier than those taking a placebo. Curcumin is poorly absorbed as a powder capsule, but a newer form called nanocurcumin with nanoboswellia, nanocurcumin plus by One Planet Nutrition is the brand, is well absorbed, and the nanoboswellia also has powerful anti-inflammatory properties. Dr. Blaylock recommends taking 250 milligrams to 500 milligrams 3 times a day with meals. Besides these tools, which I'll link to from my blog again, I'd also like to share some herbal recommendations from Master Herbalist John R. Christopher, also one of my teachers and the teacher of Richard Schulze. Now, Herbalist John R. Christopher's herbal formulas have brought me and so many of my clients and students health and healing. So his colitis formula contains marshmallow root, that is the plant, slippery elm, comfrey root, lobelia, ginger, and wild yam. And this formula helps promote the relief of colitis and should be used in conjunction with a lower bowel formula and a good diet. And so for the lower bowel formula, I would refer to Richard Schulze's colon cleansing formulas, which is I talked about in tool number 2 in his book and the video series, and a good diet, which I would refer to in tool number 1, Jordan Rubin's book. Dr. Christopher also recommends garlic oil internally, a dessert spoonful or a teaspoonful about 3 or 4 times daily. Also, he has a formula for colitis that uses white oak, golden seal, and myrrh. And you can do that in a tincture. And again, I'll link to these from my blog. And the 5th tool that I would recommend looking into is to optimize your vitamin levels. And I'm going to include a link to a vitamin D, magnesium, and omega-3 plus elements test kit. This is an all-in-one at-home blood spot test for measuring your vitamin D, magnesium, and omega-3 levels, because it's the only way that you'll know, if they're optimal if you get tested. And the test also, besides those 3, it also tests you for essential elements like copper, selenium, and zinc, And also very important, especially, for digestive disorders and other illnesses too, is a test for your exposure to toxic minerals such as cadmium, lead, and mercury. And, Ruben talks about his experience with something that he did for the first time in college, which has, potentially a very high mercury content. And I'm not going to say it on this video because I don't want to get banned or censored by YouTube. It's the V word, basically. Now he doesn't blame it directly, but he does mention it, and it's really from his, when you hear his story in his book, it was really the only, or not the only, but one of the major things that happened before his Crohn's or colitis happened to him. So, getting tested for your vitamin levels and for these toxins is going to be very telling and very important part of your healing. And also, of course, channeling orthomolecular nutrition and medicine specialist and scientist Andrew Saul, one of my teachers. Vitamin C is also very good for inflammation, reducing the inflammation, and just overall immune support. So again, just go ahead and visit my blog at aruga.com/blog/colitis, and I'll give you a document to important links from there. So may you experience holistic health and healing for you and your loved ones, whether you are suffering from Crohn's or colitis or any kind of irritable bowel disorder. I understand that it can be very hard. It can be very painful to experience, and also to watch a loved one experience this. So if you're helping or living with someone with these, I hope and pray that these resources will help you. And as always, I'd like to just remind everyone that the journey to holistic health and healing will never be found in one medication, one drug, one herb, one vitamin, one procedure. There are many factors that have probably led to the weakening of your immune system, which causes all sorts of different types of problems. And so there are many factors that you will need to take in order to strengthen yourself to overcome whatever it is that ails you. But you absolutely can overcome it. And don't believe anyone that says otherwise. And always get a second opinion. And even more importantly, do your own research. When anyone recommends to you some kind of dangerous drug or procedure, especially when it involves cutting off your body parts, that is very seriously a terrible thing to do. You need all your body parts. God made you whole, and He wants you to keep all your body parts as much as and as long as you can, as much as possible. And so let me just throw in this one last tool. Number 6 is whatever medicine that your drug or your doctor recommends to you, go ahead and Google the name of that medicine. Very easy to do. And look up the side effects, and then decide for yourself, do you really want, are the side effects of this drug and this procedure, is it worth it? Or are you better off trying to find another way? And if your medical doctor refuses to help you off the medications, once you've decided you don't want them anymore, well, you can find a good practitioner that will help you. And I can also help you find someone closest to you who can help you off those medications. Okay, so shalom. Would you like to become the healer of your home and your community and create a profitable online health coaching business? Are you interested in becoming a health coach, a naturopath, an herbalist, or a nutritionist? Do you need help finding the right program for studying holistic health and healing? Or perhaps you already have certification, but you're still not confident enough in healing people and don't know how to build a business that will empower you to have an impact and allow you to leave your regular day job. Are you ready to get a deep and comprehensive picture of holistic health and healing and learn from top healers in our day so that you can stop being stuck in a job or a career you don't have a passion for? Heal yourself and others without the need for pharmaceutical drugs with harmful side effects, doctors, or even dentists. Become more knowledgeable about holistic health and healing than most medical doctors who have graduated from medical school without spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and years of time in expensive medical schools or programs. Build a health coaching business that will allow you to work from home and achieve time, location, and financial freedom. Aruka.com empowers people to become the healers of their home and their community by equipping them with naturopathic herbalism, health coaching, and online business and marketing skills. My name is Maim. I'm 42 years old and a homeschool mom of 7 beautiful children. These 2 in the photo are my October babies. I became a naturopathic herbalist and health coach in order to take charge of my family's health when the modern medical system kept failing us. We were spending thousands of dollars on insurance and other medical expenses, but they did not have any answers for our health problems. Working from home has been such a blessing for us. I used to work at the NASA Ames Research Center as a computer scientist/engineer. But being able to have an online business has enabled me to surpass my income at NASA and to be there for my family, homeschool them, take care of them, watch them grow up every step of the way for 18 years now. I started Aruka.com in 2009 to help people become healthy and heal themselves. I've coached all sorts of people, and eventually even medical doctors and nurses started coming to me repeatedly for help for various health issues for themselves or their loved ones. I help people heal themselves of serious diseases such as cancer, heart disease, and high blood pressure, diabetes, as well as other common issues such as hormone imbalances, abnormal bleeding, migraines, eczema, kidney stones, gallstones, cataracts, and even urinary tract infection. Various people began asking me to start teaching what I know about holistic health and healing, including 2 medical doctors who have become very good friends of mine. When I realized that there was such a demand for the knowledge I have that even medical doctors were telling me to teach, I shifted the focus of Aruka.com, and now we teach people how to become confident healers through our naturopathic herbalist and health coach certification program. We help people become healers of their home and community and create profitable online health coaching businesses. If you're interested in becoming a holistic healer, please visit our website, aruka.com, ARUKAH.com. Again, that's ARUKAH.com. Hope to see you there.